everyone, today's tutorial is all about contouring and highlighting Kim Kardashian style. Celebrity makeup artists use this technique to give the stars that perfect glowing bronze skin, and I'm going to teach you guys how you can do it yourself, so let's go ahead and get started. Vitamin E oil is currently my go-to moisturizer, and I also like to spray on a few pumps of MAC's Fix Plus for added moisture. Don't forget to moisturize your lips with some lip balm as well, and you can use a primer at this point if you like, and now you have a nice base for your makeup. My holy grail foundation is Kryolan's Derma color. It is amazing. First, I mix these two colors to use as my highlight. Cream foundations work perfectly on my dry skin, and it's so easy to apply even with your fingers. I like to start out by creating upside down triangles under my eyes, and you can also use a foundation brush for this instead. I apply the highlight color to the corners of my nose and then draw a straight line down the bridge of the nose, then add some to the center of your forehead. If your forehead is small, add more highlighter. If it's big, you don't need to add much. Next, I applied highlighter to my upper lip and chin and under the hollows of my cheeks. After that, I added some over my laugh lines, under the arch of my brows, and on the center of my lids. I used the darkest color in this wheel for my contouring. I used a concealer brush from Beauty is Paradise to apply the contour color to the hairline of my forehead, the hollows of my cheeks, the crease of my eyelids, and down the sides of my nose. So here's a little makeup tip for you guys. Keeping the highlighted line down the bridge of the nose very thin and making the contour lines on either side really straight will give your nose the illusion of being more slim and straight. Next, I contour my chin and under my jawline to make my face appear slimmer. For my foundation color, I use this tan shade in the wheel, which is a few shades darker than my natural skin color. I apply this between all the highlighted and contoured areas, and this is going to act as a blending color so that there are no harsh lines of light and dark. If your neck and décolleté area will be showing, make sure you apply foundation to those areas as well. And now you're ready to blend all this together. For blending, I only like to use synthetic brushes. This buffing brush is by Real Techniques. It is my absolute favorite, and it really makes blending super easy. Okay, so while I'm fast forwarding through this blending, I want to go over the concept of highlighting and contouring with you guys. The highlight color attracts light to your face and brings out the highlighted features. So if you have a small forehead or chin, you can add more highlighter to make it appear larger. The darker color does the exact opposite by deepening or adding depth to your features, since it doesn't attract light and instead brings shadow to the areas you apply it to. This makes a feature more defined. So for a smaller forehead or nose or chin, you will apply more contour than highlight. You can already see what a difference there is between this method versus applying just a one-tone foundation. At this point, you can apply more highlighter or contour to the areas you might need more. I usually always need more highlighter under my eyes, and I like to lightly go over the contoured areas using a Real Techniques contour brush. Then, without adding any more product, I buff out the edges of the contouring once again. Next, I used this pink mauve blush color and applied it to the apples of my cheeks and over my lips. Okay, once you're done with the blending, you're going to set the cream or liquid, whichever you used, with a setting powder. My favorite setting powder right now is Mercier's loose setting powder in Beige. I love it because it adds a hint of warmth to my skin, and it's so finely milled that it never looks cakey. I prefer to use a powder puff instead of a brush. Using a puff will really set your makeup in place and gives it a lot of staying power. For my under eyes, I just fold the puff like this for an easier application. Setting powder is different from highlighting powder. Highlighting powder gives your skin a glowing effect. I like to use Ny's Banana Powder to do this. I'm using a small wedge sponge and I'm applying this under my eyes, on my forehead, upper lip, chin, and under the hollows of my cheeks, basically all the areas you highlighted previously. If you have dry skin like mine, I suggest dusting off the banana powder right away, especially from under your eyes. If you have oily skin, you can leave it on a little longer. After a minute or two, just use a large fluffy brush to dust it all off. To deepen the contouring a little more, I used Blunt from MAC to go over all the areas that I previously contoured. I would highly recommend investing in a contouring and highlighting kit like the one by Anastasia Beverly Hills. It has a vanilla and banana shade for highlighting, a shimmer, 3 contour shades, and you can also customize the palette now with colors that you prefer. It's just so much easier to travel with a small sleek palette rather than carrying bulky powders. Look at how much straighter my nose looks after contouring and highlighting. For blush, I used 2 colors from this gorgeous palette by Ofra Cosmetics. I applied the blush to the apples of my cheeks using a blush brush from Beauty is Paradise. And all the products I use will be listed in the drop box below. Then for my highlighter, I used MAC's Mineralize skin finish called by Candlelight, and I applied this to the high points of my cheekbones, down the bridge of my nose, and over my cupid's bow. The angle brush I'm using is also from Beauty is Paradise. And lastly, I used Physicians Formula's Vegas Strip Highlighter to add an extra boost of shimmer to the high points of my cheekbones. And guys, that completes my highlighting and contouring tutorial for you today. You now have a perfect canvas for the rest of your makeup. You can see how the central part of the face is lighter and more glowing than the outer edges of my face. If you don't get it right the first time around, just remember that practice makes perfect. I hope this tutorial was helpful to you and taught you something new. Thanks for watching Beauty by Binny. Take care. Mwah.